Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, guys. This is Silent King, aka Area Storm Rider, here to share my AOE build with you today, and some of the mount powers. I won't get too much into the gear. There's lots of good videos that have lots of the gears, but I want to kind of keep it brief and kind of show you what I run. So this is my main build that I run for AOE. I use Clear the Ground mainly. This is my left trigger. I do that for whenever I'm switching stances so I don't have to mess with stuff. I do keep rapid shot there because sometimes there's bosses, or not bosses, but sometimes there's one or two guys left and you may just want to rapid shot them because they are real quick and they still do a lot of damage. So it's not always needed to do this because you're almost at twice the speed with rapid shot. So when you're on single, do rapid shot, and when you're on AOE, you want to use more of the electric shock, but sometimes there's only one ad left, so I use that instead. Alright, my encounters, I use hindering, constricting, and I use cordon of arrows. A lot of this we actually use, I'll use actually the still breeze, hindering, strike, and plant growth instead. I use Call of the Storm. This is my main power I use, and I do keep Forest Ghost slotted because it's just nice to have. Especially if you're running and you need to get ahead of everyone, you can run Forest Ghost and get right into the fight. So don't think just because I have it slotted that I don't use Forest Ghost, because I do. I do use Seeker's Vengeance and I do use Blade Storm. These are the main two I use. Seeker's Vengeance is kind of one of those things you have to know how to get behind and situationally play right. Some people do not know how to get behind the ads. I watched it a lot and you lose a ton of damage doing that. So when you hit a target, you need to practice running behind it. Tanks should be running through the middle whenever you're pulling ads, so they usually run into them and they should be running right through the middle of the ads and pulling them all, and so they switch directions. Some of them just stop, and when they do that, you need to know that you have to run behind where the tank is. So always situationally pay attention to where the tank is so you can get the max amount of damage out. I do switch out for crushing roots. Some tanks do have trouble pulling all the ads, or they lose aggro on the ads because they want to just use the runaround ring thinking that's enough to hold all the aggro, which it's not. So if you're dying a lot, make sure you're switching out for crushing roots. Blade Storm, it's just it's a given whenever you're in a melee stance because you're going to get that 20% in the area around you. I've tested Twin Blade Storm, and this one's just junk whenever you're running AOE. A lot of people think it's doing a ton more damage. It's not. It's not doing as much damage as you think it is. If you want to run it, there's nothing wrong with it or anything. It's not broken. It's just not as good as some of the others. So you might as well take the 10% flat damage. And this one only works with 2 or more enemies, so you have to be hitting more than 2 at the same time. Now, Aspect of the Lone Wolf is good too. If you're lacking a little accuracy or you're dying a lot, this one's also really good because you see you gain deflex, so you can get up to 10% extra deflex. So if you need that little extra to stay alive too, you can also run Aspect of the Lone Wolf. It works really well too. I do run 2 Tactician's Precision. If you don't have Tactician's Precision, this one can kind of help with the cooldowns. You need at least 1. 2 is preferable. But this can help with the cooldowns. So if you're going to switch it out, you switch out Seekers for Storm Step because you definitely want Blaze Storm all the time. Aspect of the Serpent's great, and I do use this on my single target. There is a problem with them not always staying slotted. Some of the class feature powers have been having some issues, so you need to unslot them and reslot them for them to work. I do that before every time I go into a combat, like single target when I'm fighting bosses, so I do make sure that's slotted, but I don't use it that much in this build because we stay in one stance too long. You can use Aspect of the Pack too. This is okay. It's like I said, you're going to switch out Seekers for any of these. So yeah, if you're going to use this, use the Crushing Roots. Aspect of the Pack give you the 5% more combat advantage, but this is janky because you have to be really close to everyone. In an AoE fight, you're not going to be real close to them. So I suggest kind of steer away from that one. So my feats are slightly different than I run in my single target, which I do have another single target video you can watch. So I run focused. Then focus is whenever I stay in the stance, I get 4% more damage every second for 5 seconds. So, and then a max of 20% damage. So we want to make sure we keep that slotted for that extra 20% damage, especially when we're staying in a stance. I don't use Swiftness of the Fox in this one. I do use it in my single target. So you can switch that one to Storm's Recovery. A lot of people use these. These are pretty standard for a lot of the builds I've seen. They use these two anyway. I do not use them in my single target. Just to clarify, I think you can get more damage doing other things, and I know you can. So yeah. So if you want to get those, I do have those on my other page. The gear's a little old and outdated, but the rotations are still there, and they're towards the end of the video. There's 2 different rotations for single target. I do have Blade Hurricane. This is a big must because it doubles up our damage on Clear the Ground. Clear the Ground, we use a ton, so we want to make sure we get that double damage hit. So every time we use a encounter, we get double damage, and they did update this, so you can use this with the range, so it makes it really nice. Skirmisher's Gambit for the 10% with the new cap. This makes it a little easier to hit your 120 and crit severity, which is pretty awesome. Don't use Throw Caution, so don't keep it slotted. I could use, if I was a little more committed to just using the Call of the Storm every single time, I would probably slot that more and try to build around it, but I don't use it near as much, so I keep my 15% Forest Ghost slotted. I do use this as one of my main dills, but I do use Forest Ghost too. Still kind of been back and forth on it. You can use this and it's perfectly okay, so don't think just because you saw this could, you can't use it. Now my single target you absolutely cannot, but on the AOE you can use this if you just want that extra little 50 magnitude. If you're having troubles with cooldowns and other stuff like this might be really beneficial for you, or slow AP gain, one of the two. So yeah, that's the main stuff I use. Kind of show you what I run. There's a couple things I like to do before I start a fight. I usually start my range stance, then I like to switch over into my melee stance. When these run, you want to make sure you have make sure you've been in the stance for a few seconds. So you only get, every second you're in a stance, you're getting more damage. So it's a big deal whenever you pay attention to that. Situationally though, what we're basically doing is I'm going to hit an encounter power, and then I'm going to go clear the ground for 3 swipes, and you can hear it. It goes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You hear that shing? That's the sound you want to listen to. So when you hear the shing sound, you're going to hit the next encounter. So what I do is I start. Remember I was talking about situationally where the tank is. We only have a companion here, so we're going to treat him like a tank. So constricting arrow, hindering shot. I'm going to run through. Go ahead and hit my powers, just to kind of show you what we're doing. Real easy. Alright, so this time though we're going to throw in the extra hits. So now we're going to go in with constricting, hindering, run through, 1, 2, 3, at will, throw in the extra, get the cooldown from Tactician, and just keep banging away. Maybe switch stances every once in a while, hit 1 or 2 of those. You gotta understand, you're gonna get damage no matter what. Sometimes those are counters, and like I said at the one, sometimes you just want to go in there and just bang him down just a hair. So, oh, there's one left, so you can still hit him for quite a bit of damage. And that's pretty much it for the main part of my build. I will show you what I run, just if you're curious. I'm not going to go into in-depth detail, but I will highlight them here really quick. If you see something, you can just kind of go through and figure out which one it is, pause the video, whatever you need to do to kind of get through them all. A lot of this gear is pretty standard among most of the AOE because they haven't done anything really great in a long time. So I do run Rage of Flames and Devils. I do switch this out for Curse Burn. Curse Burn does do a lot of damage, especially in AOE content, so you can switch this out, and it's comparable damage. Poison Thorn, same thing. It can still do quite a bit of damage. Everybody gets stuck on the lightning flash, and you don't always have to have it. Skill content, these even work better. So you can use Curse Burn and Poison Thorn in those, and they work great too, especially on a Ranger. But yeah, that's the main part of my build. Just run Vortex, and I run Ferocious Predator here real quick. And yeah, and I just kind of already went over there. I just kind of highlight them again here, just so you can kind of see it if you're kind of curious what I actually do have slotted. So I do have the Executioners, and then I have the Menders, and the Gladiators, and the 2 Tacticians. These are really the key to running these really successfully, is making sure you got plenty of cooldowns. My boons, there's my boon tree, standard stuff, go up, damage, damage, damage. Forte, I run action and recharge speed. If I only have like 2 of these, I'm probably going to do action point and recharge. Forte, I just added as an extra up here. If I only have 1, I will run Bloodlust. Bloodlust is really nice because it just has the extra deal, and you do use encounter powers. And I also use Life Lessons. This is the other one. So you can use this because we do use a lot of at-wills in this. So I would probably use this one over this one, just because I know it's going to do a little more damage. But I do use Bloodlust. If you do have a bunch of boons and you just need to waste them, Blessed Advantage is great, and Deathly Rage is fine. So remember, this is AOE, so on kill or when taken, which we kill a lot of stuff in AOE, you get the extra stats there, so it kind of helps keep you statted up faster. Same with over here, you're always getting a heal, so you're always going to be able to keep your recharge speed is going to go up, and you're going to always get that extra power for that extra 10 seconds. So being able to have the extra stuff in there is going to be able to help you quite a lot. And you can see it increases your recharge speed by 5% per rank for 10 seconds, so it does give quite a bit extra, just to kind of keep your speed going up a little higher. So every time you're getting heals and stuff, you do get that chance to do that, so it's been really nice. But anyways, hope that helps. Please subscribe and share with your buddies. If you have any questions, please leave questions or comments. I'm more than help. I will help you the best I can, or I'll post another video for you. Alright, and that's all I got for today. Later, Neverwinter.